Your greatest fear is waiting for you to turn it into one of your greatest assets or greatest strengths. Fundamentally, what do humans fear? The boogeyman, the dark. We fear the unknown. We fear of not knowing what's going to happen. Any fear you have is rooted in the idea of not knowing the exact outcome, whatever that scenario is, right? And so when we explore fear as an unknown or an unconquered land, we can kind of change the frame in which we're viewing the things that we fear. When I first got into the gym, I was a sophomore in high school. We were lifting with the football team, and I was a bit scared to go and lift with the older guys, with kids my age that had already been lifting, because I didn't want to feel inferior. I would even skip out on lifts. It was like I didn't want to fall short or be inferior to those that could lift heavier to me. I viewed every lift as a metric of my own worth. And before I rambled too far about that was my fear. And in that case, it wasn't the unknown of the weight room. I know we're going in there to lift weights, but it was like the unknown of how will I be perceived. Fast forward, I used that during COVID when we were all isolated to just get so deep into the weight room and turn that feeling of inferiority to, I don't want to say a superpower, but it's one of my strengths. I lifted in isolation, lifted every day, worked super hard, and I explored that unconquered land because the gym to me was foreign. I knew I wasn't going to be very strong, and it wasn't foreign in a sense of oh, I wonder what's going to be in there. I know there's weights in there. I didn't know how I was going to be perceived, so I explored that land on my own. And once I conquered that land, fast forward a few years now, the gym is one of the places that I turn to for strength. I think we all do. And an even more pertinent example, or a better example maybe, talking to strangers. I grew up a bit maybe introverted. I could always speak and articulate myself well, but I never wanted to go out of my way to go up to somebody. Why? Because it's unknown. You don't know if they're gonna freak out on you, get the fuck away from me, you weirdo, whatever it is. But when I changed the way I looked at it from, okay, why do I fear this? Because I don't know how they're going to react. Well, am I gonna die? No. Could it possibly turn out better than I expect? Yeah. And am I gonna get better at this in the process? Yeah. And it most likely won't be weird if I don't make it weird. So I'll just throw myself into those uncomfortable situations. Just going up to people, saying what's up, we'll be in the elevator, start a quick conversation, nothing too crazy. And soon that arena of my life became conquered. Now I'm confident in talking to strangers, articulating myself. And I say this to say whatever fear it is that you're holding on to is simply an unconquered area of your life or an unexplored area of your life. And instead of viewing it as something that you need to avoid because you're fearful of it, embrace it and go explore that land. That's what we're here to do. Why do you think risks are inherently scary to most people? Because risks don't have a defined, guaranteed outcome. And that uncertainty of, I don't know how it's going to go, scares most people away from risks. But what if that risk could be the greatest asset waiting for you to tap into it? Only one way to find out. When you begin to view your fear as unconquered land that needs to be explored, everything changes and you have the opportunity to reshape that fear into a strength. I think the last parting example before I leave you guys with this is, after I had knee surgery, I had this fear of never being the same again, of never being able to dunk a basketball again or squat heavy or whatever it is, because this road of surgery recovery was unknown to me. I'd never walked that road before, unexplored territory. I braced myself for the challenge and I took it head on. I explored that territory day by day. I kept stacking winning days, and after a year has gone by, my legs are one of my greatest strong points. Even my injured leg, I can now do weighted pistol squats. I can dunk off of my vertical jump. What was once a fear of not knowing if I'll ever be the same has now been turned into a strength because I'm more athletic than I was before. I'm stronger than I was before. Does my knee look different because there's a scar there from the surgery? Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is, some people would shy away from that. Some people would shy away from the gym when that feeling of inferiority hits them. Some people will never cold approach people, cold approach women, whoever it may be, put themselves out there for a promotion because they're scared of that human-to-human interaction. But when you begin to view it as an unconquered territory, and as a man, our duty is to conquer, to provide, and just grow in overall power and capability, then it's a task. Fear becomes a task. How can I explore all of these fears and ultimately end up fearless? There's a reason it says in all the religious texts, especially within the Bible, do not fear. Fear not. Do not fear. It says it repeatedly all throughout the text. There's a religious component to that, but there's a reason that that's a theme. Fear is not, it's fake. It's a figment of our imagination. And when you try to rip down the curtain, rip apart the figment, and like, what really is this? And you explore that land, that's when you can develop the strength in that area that you once feared and you once didn't even want to explore. I'm about to go hit my leg day. I'm about to go hit some heavy squats. Just wanted to drop a quick one for you guys. Hopefully this helped you. Whatever decision you feel like you're fearing right now, more than likely the best outcome would be for you to attack it. Especially if you've been hesitating on a decision for a while that you've been fearful of. Is this the right move? Is it going to turn out right? Odds are it will. I can't guarantee that it will, but you can make sure that it will. And at the very least, exploring that territory, you'll leave with a new strength, with a new skill set, even if that isn't the end all be all for you. But happy Friday to you guys. God bless. Subscribe, like the whole shebang, and check out my Instagram. I do a lot of fitness content. It's a fitness page, but I love talking about the mindset side of things too, because it's served me a lot in my life. And I think just as important as training the body, training the mind, and exploring that as well. So, all right, y'all. Peace.